Okay, well, maybe go down that rabbit trail a little bit more because I mean, I don't know how many of our listeners are in the welding world, but this is a really good point that we've seen get folks into trouble for.
Well, I mean, so that's just kind of, AWS is like the ISO of welding. So when people think of regulations and standards for welding, they think AWS. So people just toss that terminology out there. There's AS&T and stuff like that, but generally AWS for welding is like, oh yeah. So people that might not necessarily have procedures or have, determining what a good weld is, that kind of thing. So they'll be like, our welds are in accordance with AWS. Well, it's like, okay, you could be in visual accordance. I forget what section that is, but there's a whole
Yeah,
book written on that, like are your materials in accordance with AWS? Well, if
yeah.
they're not in
You can
accordance
fill up
with
half
AWS,
the
then your
shelf
welds are in
here with
accordance with AWS.
specs.
What's that?
You can fill up half the shelf here with specs.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
point in that?
Yeah, so it's better to do the legwork to define, okay, what are your requirements, what are your customers' requirements, and not just take the easy road out and say AWS. Like
Yeah.
I think people get away with it, but it could easily, if I saw that, I'd be like, oh, you mentioned AWS here.